Hey, what's up, everybody? For your fix of fitness, health, life, and laughs, you know where it's at. That's right, it's at the Poecast with your host, yours truly, Adam Pullman. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Poecast. This is your host and fitness coach, Adam Pullman. In today's episode, we are talking about the best rep range to build muscle. So if one of your main goals is to build muscle, whether it's a little or a lot, how many reps should you be doing in your workout? So make sure you tune in today's episode to find out more about that. This question that was sent in came from a listener just like you. So if you didn't know, this is how the show works. It's listener driven. Listeners just like you send in questions about health, fitness, nutrition, all that good stuff. So if you have a question that you would like to have answered on the show, you can do that on Instagram, or that's where you can send that in. My handle is Adam_PullmanFit. You can find me there. Every single Saturday, you'll see a question box on my story that says, ask me a question. That is your green light to submit as many health, fitness, and nutrition questions as you would like. I'll answer them shortly there on the story and then in detail here on the show. So that's how you go ahead and get that done. And if you would like to have access to more exclusive content, more detailed content on how to improve your health, fitness, and nutrition to reach your goals, I invite you to check out and be a part of our private Facebook group. So that is a community where like-minded people get together to learn from each other. It's where I give talks there pretty much on a weekly basis about many different health and fitness subjects to allow you guys to get information, learn, and grow. And it's an awesome environment, awesome community. There are also people that work with me in there. So if you're wondering what it looks like to work one-on-one with me to get to your health and fitness goals, you can definitely find out quite a bit in that group. So if you want to be a part of that group, go ahead and message me with that's me or just, hey, I want to be a part of that group. And I will send you a link so you can request to join our private Facebook group. Lastly, if you want more valuable free resources, more valuable free information, you can download all of our free guides and get access to articles that I've written over the years at pullmanfitness.com/free. That's POEHLMANN fitness.com/free. Today's question comes from Annalise3566, and the question is, what is the best rep range to build muscle? That is a great question, one that has been debated for a very long time. If you've been listening to my stuff for a while, you know probably my most common answer, and that's the answer that I'm going to give here too, and that's it depends. Okay, so the word in this question, best, really depends on the individual's training history, what they've been doing recently, and what they haven't done before. Now, here's the thing. If you look at a lot of research articles, a lot of papers, basically you can come to the conclusion that generally speaking, going anywhere from 8 to 12 reps is going to be the quote best or quote optimal in building muscle. Now, the thing that a lot of those papers and things like that don't and can't take into consideration, it's not like they ignore it, but they just can't take into consideration is how that applies in real life. And as a trainer, you realize and learn over years and years of experience that oftentimes what sounds perfect on paper doesn't mean it's perfect in real life. And this is one that was mind-blowing to me. At first, it was kind of like a paradigm-shattering moment. I got to a point where I had clients that wanted to build muscle and they had been doing, 8 to 12 reps, 8 to 12 reps, 8 to 12 reps, and they're just not getting anywhere. So they reach out to me and I go, well, we need to be doing 8 to 12 reps because that's what everything says as far as building muscle goes that you need to do. So maybe you're just not doing 8 to 12 reps right or something like that. So I would be like, okay, let's keep doing 8 to 12 reps. Not much would change. So eventually I was like, screw it. We're just going to completely change things. And I would just say, hey, what have you not done before? Because at this point I was starting to piece together that even though something might look best on paper, if that person has been doing it for months and months and months and maybe even years, the body is not going to respond to it the same as if it was doing something brand new. Okay, so I would just say, hey, what have you not done before? Have you ever done like lower rep ranges, like 4 to 6 or maybe 2 to 5? They'd be like, no. Okay, let's give that a shot. Boom, built tons of muscle. Same goes, and that's a common situation for men usually, because guys will be like, okay, I need to build muscle. Let's do 8 to 12 reps. Keep doing that. Stops working. And really what it comes down to is when you get married to the same idea, the results are not going to be the same throughout. So if you build if you build muscle doing 8 to 12 reps for the first 3 months, that doesn't mean you're going to build the same amount of muscle, or at least the same rate that you would for the next year or 2 years or 6 months. You always need to be changing things up a little bit. And changing things up with reps in order to build muscle can help a ton. So the answer here is usually what's best is what you haven't been doing. Now, there are some restrictions that I want to mention within that. One would then say, okay, well, I haven't done 30 reps before. I'll do 30. Well, here's the thing. You're definitely not going to build the most muscle doing 30 reps, just because the primary response from going that high in reps is going to be some sort of endurance rather than actual hypertrophy and muscle building. Okay, so same thing, for strength. You say, okay, well, I haven't done 2 reps before. If you only do 2 reps, you might not see optimal muscle growth. There tends to be a general window through which I've seen and many others have seen people build a tremendous amount of muscle, and that general window is anywhere from 6 to 12 reps, sometimes 6 to 15, but I think 12 is plenty high. But there are always exceptions to the rule. I have a lot of female clients that, women clients. People get upset when I say female nowadays. I don't care. I have a lot of female clients that have built a lot of muscle doing 5 reps, which would be underneath that general 6 to 12 range. So it really just depends on what you've been doing and what you haven't done before. But for a broad window, we can say anywhere from 4 to 12 reps has how far I would like to go. Just because there are a lot of guys that usually don't go as high as 12 reps on a consistent basis. And there are a lot of girls out there, there are a lot of women out there that just don't go any lower than like freaking 15 reps because they've been lied to for so long and told that, doing 12, 15, 20, 25, 30 reps is going to be the best for toning, which is utter bullshit. Okay. So there's a big range in which you can build a lot of muscle. It's all going to depend on what you've been doing and what you haven't done before. And that's why it's so important to change things up every 3 to 6 weeks or so, and to have some structure and systems in place for your training. It can't just be, if you're trying to build optimal muscle, it can't just be throwing something at the wall, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. You need to have some sort of plan and structure in place. You need to log how you would change to that environment, take notes of how you adapt or how you don't adapt, how you met expectations or didn't meet expectations, and then change things along the way. Phasing your workouts is extremely important when it comes to building muscle, pretty much any sort of result that you want to see. Building muscle, building strength, losing body fat, whatever it is, having some sort of phasing and structure to your workouts is going to be extremely, extremely, extremely important. Okay. Now, outside of a rep range, actually, before I move on to the other stuff, let's just say you've been doing 10 to 12 reps for a long time. Try doing 6 to 8. Try doing 4 to 6. You know what I mean? If you've been doing 4 to 6 for a long time, try doing 10 to 12 and figure out, voice crack, puberty, and figure out what your body needs at that time. And that's going to change down the road. Just because you needed, let's say, 6 to 8 reps now doesn't mean that you're always going to need 6 to 8 reps whenever you need to build muscle. You have to take a look at your history and what you haven't been doing for a while and figure out where to go from there. Okay. So the overall thing here is don't get married to one way of doing things, because you're likely going to have your paradigm shattered all the freaking time if you think that there's only one way to go about things, if you think there's only one way to build muscle. Okay, now let's talk about some other things outside of rep range when it comes to building muscle. A couple of things that are super important that people don't consider outside of rep range and phasing your workouts and changing your workouts up. The first thing is tempo. Tempo is huge when it comes to building muscle, getting the most out of your workouts. A lot of people just are in such a big rush in their workout. They're thinking about the errands that they have to run after their workout. They're thinking about how they have to go pick up their kid from daycare right after their workout, and they're cutting it in half or cutting it short or rushing it because their mind is already gone. Their mind's not with them in the workout. And this causes them to go through the motions and not get the best out of their workout. And when I say get the best out of the workout in this context, what I mean is optimal muscle contraction, really feeling the squeeze of the muscle, challenging the muscle with resistance that is appropriate given you have, proper technique and form and whatnot. That's what I mean when I say getting the most or getting the best out of your workouts. So one thing that can help you out a ton in really optimizing every single rep and getting the most out of every single rep is just slowing the freaking heck down. Slow down your tempo. So here's what I mean by that. On the way up, let's just take a bicep curl into consideration. Or for example, on the way up on that bicep curl, spend 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. On the way up. On the way down, 3 to 4 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Even counting that out loud right now, I know for a fact every single person in the gym that I train is going way faster than that. Way faster than that. The gym that I work out at, it's just stuff you notice as a personal trainer. Everybody is flying through everything. I guarantee you are. Slow down a little bit. Change your tempo. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do to get the most optimal muscle building results. That's one thing. That's not the only thing. That's one little piece of the puzzle. Another thing is your training frequency that can help a ton. It depends on the intensity and the volume at which you're training, but I see two common things here, and it's general based on what guys tend to do and what girls tend to do. Guys usually tend to do train muscle group once a week. I do legs on Monday, chest on Tuesday, back on Wednesday. And it's not to say that that's wrong or you shouldn't do it that way, but generally speaking, a little bit more frequency tends to be better. Hitting muscle groups 2 to 3 times a week. Now, where I see the ladies go off a little bit is by doing it too much. So they'll say, well, I want to grow my glutes, so I'm doing them 4 times a week. And it's like, okay, well, you're training your glutes 4 times a week. When the freaking heck are they going to recover? How are they going to be fresh for the next workout so you can get the most out of your deadlifts, your hip thrusts, move the most weight, feel the best muscle contraction, make sure your joints feel good? How make sure your central nervous system is rested? How is that going to work if you're going 4 times a week? So again, 2 to 3 times a week tends to be that sweet spot for training frequency as far as a muscle group goes, which generally speaking, yields itself well to building a good amount of muscle. Now, obviously, when it comes to building muscle, your nutrition is extremely important. Your sleep is extremely important. All that good stuff, okay? So going back to the original question, the best rep range to build muscle usually is the one that you have not been doing, and generally that can fall anywhere between 6 and 12 reps, let's say. But remember, that doesn't mean that you can't build muscle going higher than that. That doesn't mean that you can't build muscle going lower than that. Take a look at what you've been doing, figure out what you haven't done before, and what you feel that you may need, and go from there. And here's the thing. If you've got no freaking clue what you need to do, and you need more help and more advice, and you want more guidance, come be a part of our private Facebook group. I do talks on there on like a weekly basis, go in depth, in detail about things you can do to improve stuff like this, so you can gain a lot of insight, bring your notepad, take notes, all that good stuff. So go ahead and send me a message or an email just telling me you want to be a part of that group, and I will send you a link to join so you can join in that group and be a part of our community. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you know someone that needs to listen to this episode, spread the love, share this show with them, and let them know that this is where they can go to get all of their health, fitness, and nutrition questions answered.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it is over already. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening to the Poecast. Hey, listen in. If you have a health and fitness goal that you are trying to reach, I don't know what else to say other than to say it must be a match made in heaven. If you didn't know already, Pullman Fitness exists to transform the body, mind, and spirit through personal coaching and sustainable fitness plans for any stage of life. So, if you want to reach your goals, build sustainability, and enjoy life all at the same time, you guys got to check out Premier Coaching at Pullman Fitness. From custom-tailored programming to 24/7 access to your personal coach, you'll have everything that you need to succeed. You guys can find out a lot more about Premier Coaching as well as our membership program at pullmanfitness.com. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, share the love by leaving a 5-star review and introducing the Poecast to your friends and family. As always, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, this is the Poecast.